But, it can be really overwhelming if you don't know what you're looking for. And most of the time, people aren't being told what they're needing. What do you really need in a probiotic, or when might a probiotic not be the right thing for you?
Hey everyone, welcome to the Nourished and Thriving Show. I'm your host, Katie Luffett. I'm a registered dietitian on a mission to help you increase your impact and legacy on the world while healing your gut and reducing your IBS symptoms. I'm so grateful to have you here. Each week, I'll inspire you to live vibrantly and provide valuable resources and information that empowers you to take bold action towards your health goals. Before we dive in, make sure you follow or subscribe to my show wherever you're listening so you never miss an episode. Ready? Let's go!
All right, everyone, I'm so excited for today's topic. We are talking about probiotics. You can't really be a gut health dietitian and not talk about probiotics, right? So we're going to talk about today what they are, how you get them in your diet, and what to do. There's a lot of confusion out there around probiotics. I get asked all the time, should I take one? Will it help? A supplement? What about kombucha, food sources of probiotics? And, some people will tell me, hey, I started this and it made me feel worse. What's the deal? What gives? So we're going to dig into some of that today. And there's some reasons why. And once you guys understand these reasons, you're going to start feeling a lot more confident navigating these things. And that's the whole point of what I do, is to empower you guys to be able to make the best decisions that you need to make for your bodies. So what are probiotics? They are good bacteria, helpful bacteria, and they're helpful because they produce things for us as byproducts as they eat our waste as it moves through our colon. So that's a great place to start, is where they live. Most of them are in our colon, our large intestine. Our stomach is really acidic, and so it's mostly sterile. Our small intestine is the middle part. It's where most of our food is absorbed. And it's not sterile like our stomach, but we don't expect to have a large number of probiotics in there. When we do, that's when we start getting into things like SIBO, small intestine bacterial overgrowth, stuff like that. The large intestine in the gut is where most of these organisms live. We also have bacteria in our mouth, on our skin, all of that too, but we're going to be focusing on the large intestine today because that's more the gut. We do work with mouth stuff some, but we're not going to dig into that today. So they're producing nutrients. They're producing short-chain fatty acids that actually help fuel their nutrients for the cells lining that small intestine to keep your gut not inflamed, keep it nice and calm and happy. They're making nutrients like vitamin K. They're also making neurotransmitters, which are those messages between our nerves. And they also produce hormones and impact hormones, which are the big communicators in our bodies. So there's a really large impact on our bodies from these little organisms. In fact, sometimes you even have to ask yourself, is it us, is the human driving the ship, or is it these little microorganisms, these bacteria? Because they really control a lot of our body's functions. And so there can be a couple of different things that can go wrong with these organisms. There can be too few of them. There can be an imbalance of them, so where we have too much of one kind and not enough for the other kind. Or they can be in the wrong place. So the wrong place is where we were talking a minute ago, where we have them in the small intestine, right? They've migrated up to where they shouldn't be. We're not digging into that today. So we're going to talk about an imbalance and not enough. And whenever this happens, we can really have a lot of, GI symptoms. We can also have inflammation in our, intestines, and then the rest of the body if that lining of the small intestine starts to break down. So probiotics are kind of the go-to, right? Oh, take a probiotic. Oh, you're bloated, take a probiotic. You're constipated, take a probiotic. Whenever I was dealing with my own gut issues, my doctor in college told me drink more water, eat more fiber, exercise, and take a probiotic. And those were kind of the foundational recommendations, and they're good recommendations, but just telling somebody to take a probiotic really can be a disservice to them. I'll never forget after, it was right after I'd had my first daughter, I went into Natural Grocers to get a probiotic. I was nursing her, and wanted to take a probiotic to help and make sure that I was healthy so she would be healthy as well. And I remember walking into that store before I'd done my functional training, before I was in gut health stuff. I never at that point even thought I was going to be in this space. So it's funny how we've kind of come full circle here. But I remember walking in and seeing the wall of supplements, of probiotics, that some were refrigerated, some were on the shelf. I was like, I don't know what to look for. I don't know what's good, what's not good. You're kind of scared of taking one and making things worse, not doing the right one. So some people may not take any action at all. Some people may take one that their friend recommended that they worked well for them. But it can be really, really confusing. And then don't even get me started on supplement quality, which is a whole different deal that we'll dig into another day. But, it can be really overwhelming if you don't know what you're looking for. And most of the time, people aren't being told what they're needing. And the answer to that question, what do you really need in a probiotic, or when might a probiotic not be the right thing for you, is, going back to those questions that I asked a minute ago. So, what does your microbial population look like? In the nerdiest question ever there. But that's what I'm looking at with my clients in my program is we do a profile basically of their gut. I always say it's like taking the magic school bus through your digestive tract and seeing what's going on. In a lot of ways, I think it's more helpful for what I do than like a colonoscopy or an endoscopy would do, that's looking at the anatomy of the gut and all of that. We're getting a better working idea of how things are actually behaving in there, but we're actually analyzing your microorganisms in your gut, and so we're getting better feel for what's there, what's not, what is overgrown, what do we not have enough of, are all of your numbers in general low? If just everything is low, you probably can't go too wrong with a probiotic supplement, because you just need to get the numbers up, right? And create a more favorable environment through nutrition changes and stress management and sleep and all of that stuff, so that they can really take off and that probiotic supplement can really do its job. But if you have the other issue where you have more of an imbalance in your microorganisms, some are overgrown, some are undergrown, and you don't know what that is, and then you go buy a random probiotic hoping it helps, and you take it, it could make your symptoms worse, is kind of the worst case scenario, or, not as bad, but not really helpful because you've just spent all this money on probiotics because they're not cheap. If they're good, it may just not help at all. And that's if it's not the right kind for you. So if you have an imbalance and you have too much of one kind and not enough of another, but you don't know that because you haven't done a test to know what's going on, you could buy a probiotic that just has more of what you already are overgrowing and none or not enough of the things that you don't have enough of. Does that make sense? So you really need to take a personalized approach whenever you're looking for a probiotic, so that you can make sure that you're actually taking something that's going to help and that's not going to make it worse, or you're not just going to be wasting your money on something that is not going to help you. So those are on supplements. And then there are some food sources of probiotics too. There's soil-based organisms. We used to eat a lot more dirt. We used to be out playing in the, outside more. We used to have a lot more soil-based organisms out there. So, dirt don't hurt, right? We say that with our kids, dirt don't hurt. Go play outside, go dig in the dirt some, and that can help. But there's also things like, yogurt through the natural processing of that. You're getting some good organisms. Some yogurts even have probiotics added in to boost what would naturally be there. Again, you're kind of looking at what do I have and what do I need more of. There's things like kombucha, that are like the probiotic drinks. Some issues with that is it does have some yeast in it. So if you struggle with yeast overgrowth, then that's probably not going to be a great option for you. It goes back to that, knowing what you need more of and what you don't need more of. Sauerkraut, kimchi, all of those fermented foods do have natural probiotics in them. So I think it's definitely a good idea if you have like mild to moderate gut symptoms and you're just wanting to boost your overall health, add in those probiotic foods into your regular diet. Eat them every day, or at least 5 days a week, so that you're getting exposure to those good organisms so that they can really be resilient and strong in your gastrointestinal tract. But if you are having more moderate to severe symptoms, or your symptoms get worse after eating some of those probiotic foods, or you're just not making progress with those, that's when it's time that you really need a personalized game plan. You need to do a test like I help my clients with. We need to do a test on you. We need to see what's going on, get a better understanding of what you need so that you can be more efficient in feeling better, because who likes to just spin around, right? And not make any progress forward, but take all the action, and you're doing all the things and you're spending all this money on all these supplements that aren't doing anything for you. Nobody wants that, and I don't want that for you either. So if that's you, reach out, let's talk. This is what I do every single day, is come up with these personalized plans. So probiotics can be really helpful, but they have to be the right kind for the right condition for the right person. So if you're just not really sure what you're doing, I would go more for the food sources of probiotics instead of a supplement. And then if you're needing help with recommendation for an actual supplement, if you're having more moderate to severe IBS or digestive symptoms like bloating, constipation, diarrhea, stuff like that, reach out and let's talk about what it would look like, how I can help you, what my program looks like, and just go from there. So that's all for now, and we'll talk again soon.
Thank you so much for listening to the entire episode. I hope you are feeling inspired and empowered to take bold action towards your health goals. If you enjoy what you heard, don't forget to follow my show so you never miss a new episode. And it would mean the world to me if you left me a review so others knew what to expect from my show. Last, get in touch. Let me know what bold action you're taking. Let me know how you're inspired. Follow me on Instagram at the_healthygut_dietitian. I've put a link in my show notes for you so you can simply click and follow. Come say hi. I respond to all my messages and I can't wait to get in touch.